Hey there, Cerise here. So guys, I'm going live before tonight starts because I'm gonna do quarantine cocina at 7 until 8. Might start a little bit later. We're not really sure because it was raining up a little bit earlier and stuff like that. And Joelle had to go feed a little bit over for time right now. But I still wanted to come and just chat with you guys because I don't really know where to look. I always get mixed up right here. Pretty sure it's right there, right? So I actually just wanted to talk to you guys about, relationships quickly. It's not really one of my favorite topics to talk about because um, it's I don't talk to you guys about relationships often. I talk to you guys about apartment rentals and, coming here and relocating and getting yourself situated. But lately with my live chairs, I've been getting a little bit more personal, and I just wanted to, give a little bit more information because I had a couple of people private message me and they're like, Cerise, why do you like Dominican men? Even Dominican women find Dominican men hard to be with. And I get that, I understand that, but I'm Canadian and I find Canadian men hard to be with. So sometimes it's a little different flavor that makes you happy, a little different taste of life. And, sometimes when you have something too much of it, sometimes when you have too much of something, familiarity breeds contempt. And I think that's what was happening to me in Canada. And I had a lot of Canadian men constantly asking me different questions like, let me give a good example. I'm dating a guy, we're getting along very well, and he does something that I don't like. I'm very vocal about it. I will voice my opinion, and I don't voice my opinion in a bossy manner like I used to back in the day when I was younger. I'm going to keep it real with you. I used to, of course, we all have. But now in my more mature years, I don't have time for all that. I just say it how I feel it, and if he can change it, then he can change it, and if he can't, I don't want him to change for me or struggle changing for me. We're just not compatible, and that's that, So I found in Canada, I was constantly correcting, and that's not my nature. I don't want to make the man that I'm with into a client. And so I was finding myself doing that constantly coaching my men that I'm with. Hold on one second, guys. I have some, this was an impromptu video, so I have to answer some of these messages as I am talking to you guys. So, yeah, I have a lot of dating experience, a lot. And I'm not gonna lie, I did not come here for a man when I first came here 2 years ago. And I didn't, hey, how you doing? And I stayed with him for a while, and he was good at first, like how most relationships are. But I got along with him better than I did Canadian men. And of course, our personalities were different, our cultures were different. But I didn't find the Dominican culture so different when it came to love, in regards to like out of this world different. I found it actually more affectionate. I find the Dominican men very affectionate. Girl, you ain't gotta explain yourself. Aw, thank you. Let me see. I'm not explaining myself really. It's just that I thought I would like to share. A lot of women, maybe they maybe they had bad experiences with Dominican men, and they don't realize that they had the same experiences with the men in the country they came from. So I just don't want to set it straight because relationships, like for instance, in Canada, I would never have I don't know. Okay, I would never pay a man's rent. But you can't really compare the two because I paid someone's rent here before, but it was only $60. In Canada, rent is usually a lot higher than that. So no, I wouldn't pay someone's rent. If a guy in Canada asked me to borrow $60, I would say yeah, but I wouldn't want to get into the habit of lending him money all the time. That's just not my nature. But here, when I'm dating a man, I will pay for both of us to eat because I know he doesn't have it like that. But he has it in other ways, and he has it in ways where he's affectionate. Just a little story. The other day I was sitting here and I had some Canadian friends here, right? And we were drinking a few beers, and I was drinking Bohemia, and my friend who was Canadian was drinking Bohemia as well. And I had another friend, I had 3 friends here, 2 men and 1 woman. And they were all Canadians, and we were all chilling because they were leaving soon. So again, this was just like, maybe like a week and a half ago. Okay, not the other day, like a week and a half ago. So we're sitting here, and I was sitting right here, and my friend was sitting right over there, and my other friend was there. So they're talking, the girl and the guy, back and forth, and I wanted to get up to get myself a beer, but I thought to myself, I'll wait a minute because they're talking, I don't want to interrupt. And then he looked at me, and he interrupted himself because he noticed I was distracted. He's like, everything okay, Cerise? And I was like, yeah, I was going to get a beer, and he didn't let me finish what I was going to say. And he's like, but what? And I was like, well, and he was sitting here kind of in my way where I couldn't get the beer, and I was expecting him, when I said to him I was going to get a beer, I was expecting him to say to me, oh, let me get it for you, right? That's what a Dominican man will do. And I experience that here all the time. A Dominican man will, you don't even have to say that your cup is empty. They will notice it and get it for you. And it's not about love and concern, right? You look at someone's cup and you see it's getting empty. They are not subservient either, but they're caring. And they're affectionate. And they don't just do it for the woman that they're with, but they'll do it for everyone. I have friends hanging out with my Dominican guy that I'm talking to. He will not only pour my drink, or he'll pour my girlfriend's drinks as well. Very, very kind. He'll go to the store. He's not a lazy man. He doesn't say, oh, I gotta go to the store. Or, he'll just say, hey, I'm gonna go to the store. I'll be right back. You need this. But anyway, let me finish the story about the guy. I cup up, and I was like, well, I was gonna get a beer, and he's like, and what? And I was like, well, and then he said, you think, oh my gosh. I looked at him and I was like, what? He's like, you think I drank your beer? I'm like, no, I didn't think you drank my beer. Come on now, this is my house. I buy the beer, you can drink it. And he's like, oh, I bought my own beer. And I said, I know you did. That's not what I was going to say. I was going to say, and then he looked at me and he said, what? What were you going to say? And then, check this out, offensive, but she said, Cerise, I would really like to know too. Because I noticed a change in your character right now. Not character, but in my demeanor. And I was like, okay, truth right now? You want the honest truth? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, I don't know. For the last 2 years, I'm not used to serving myself when men are around. And I'm sitting here, my cup is empty. I look up, and you're in the way of the beer. And I mentioned that I was going to get a beer. And in your head, I think you're drinking the beer. But in your head, you should automatically be thinking, let me get that for her. His jaw dropped to the ground, right here on the terrace. His jaw dropped, and he was like, and I said, yeah, like Dominican men, they just got it like that. And now that's not to knock a lot of you American men out there that got it like that. You guys might be thinking, oh, Cerise, you've never been served before. And not really. No, I haven't. By one man. And I'll give him a shout out. Chan. One man, and he's from Nova Scotia. A lot of my family's from Nova Scotia as well. Down east, Nova Scotia and Canada. So a lot of us are very caring. We're like down home type of people, kind of like country folks. Just kind of just happy and free, and we don't mind being subservient. And let me see. Just looking at some of these comments. I'm not going to read the comments right now because I just don't want to lose focus on what I'm saying, but I just want to see that, you guys are here. So anyway, I found, right away again, his jaw just dropped the ground, and he was like, Cerise, you know what? You have a point, and you were right. And I said, well, yes, you're here, and you're meeting a lot of the Dominican women, and you like the way that they treat you, and why aren't you learning from people and everything? I love making people happy, but I don't bend over backwards to just kind of make someone happy. They have to be deserving of it. But of course, if someone has to get past me to get something, I'm going to get it for them. And it just didn't click in his head. And he's a really nice guy, and he would give the shirt off his back to anyone if they asked for it. But that's what I'm saying. Someone would have to ask. And I'm not saying that Canadian men are dense. They could be a little bit differently raised, you know, and so in that respect, maybe they were given a lot more for nothing. And this is not stereotyping, because I know a lot of people had it hard in life, and I know a lot of Canadians that are probably very much like Dominicans in some ways as well, not only because they had it hard, but maybe because they have a certain culture as well, and maybe they are very certain to the women. So I'm only speaking from my experience, and I've dated all different races in Canada. My sister called me one time, all nations. She's like, Cerise, you'll date anything. Back in the day. And I said, yes, why not? I'll even try to learn any new language. And that's just my nature, right? But yeah, that's what it was. And when I got here, I keep saying that I had 3 relationships here, but I want to keep it real too. Like, there was a 4th person, and he was an American. Right? And I'm sorry if you're listening to this, because I know probably the same people we know, they're going to tell you about this video, and they know I'm talking about you. But if you knew how to keep it real, and you weren't so mean and dismissive and cold for no reason, I probably would have stuck around you for a little bit longer. You know, the other day you were asking me why questions and everything when I saw you on Pedro Placente, and I just wasn't even interested. And you just don't see that's probably why you're single right now too. And you don't meet a lot of women because your character is just so dismissive and cold, and if you're not very affectionate, and you know, and I think that is what I encounter when it comes to North American men. I like to cuddle, I like to kiss, I like to love. I love to be one with my man and center. I can spend 24/7 with my man because I don't have that type of personality that needs him to serve me constantly or me to serve him constantly, but I have that type of personality for companionship. Chill out, be friends, do everything together. I'm not that type of person that ever needs space. You know, if I get along with the person, we get along, we're rolling, we're like ride or die. And so that's, I think, you know, my experience here. I noticed that as well. The men here are not perfect. They're not. But for me, what am I willing to sacrifice in terms of being happy? And I don't mind spending a couple of bucks and treating a guy good if he doesn't have it and he gets me back in other ways. It actually feels a lot more comfortable than it does if I am like dating a guy that really has no respect. Or I never was that type of woman that would like to be taken out to a really expensive restaurant just to try the food. I've dated a lot of millionaires in my life, but never did I get any money from them. You know, I dated a lot of millionaires. When I was on the radio, I met a lot of wealthy men. And I had a lot of fun with them. We went to Niagara Falls. They never paid for like cruises or anything like that because I was a young mom and, you know, I had to take care of my children and run my business. But hotel overlooking the water, and that's all great and dandy and fine. Not very good. Like crap. They weren't very humble. And why? Because they had money. They had too much money. And it got to their head. And I would start to think, who is this man without his wealth? His character sucks. If he had no money, would I want him? No. So that means I'm being a gold digger. So I had to even put that into my mind. Why am I going with all these wealthy man after wealthy man, and not chit chat, you know, because their experiences are always the best, you know. Marry a millionaire and you'll see their life is more important than yours. Sometimes, not all the time. Sorry, wealthy men out there that really treat your women like dolls, and you should, and you know, because you are a gentleman. But those of you who are out there and you know you're not, and you're just buying things for the woman and thinking that that's what's going to make her happy, touch her every now and again, love her every now and again, remember to tell her that she's beautiful. It's really important, you know. Women, when they start to shut down their soul, and that's when their spirit is rocking. That's when they are like, shoot, what am I doing here? What am I doing with this man who doesn't even care, you know? And that, I think, is what I noticed a lot with a lot of North American men for me. I was constantly second guess going to go, how long I was going to be with them. It was very, very difficult for me in relationships in North America. But again, I'll shout out that one dude, Chan. Him and I are still good friends. I'm Facebook friends, or like we're on WhatsApp, or like even my recent ex here in the Dominican Republic that a lot of you guys know. He messaged me yesterday to give me a message. He thought I would like to know. He's the one, again, I said yesterday on my live to air, he's the one that told me about Noche's veterinarian dying, Dr. Bob. What's up? He doesn't call me and say, what's up? Or like, how are you? Or, we're nothing like that. But we are at peace. And I think that is the most important thing. We are enjoying life separately, and I'm not any longer, like, looking over my shoulder, so to speak. And I think he has come to the realization that I don't belong to him, and that I'm a full-grown woman, and I was here before I met him, and I'm here after I was with him. So he got that right out now, and I'm glad that we can round the edges into someone I used to be with, someone that he used to be with, and into friends, and nothing more. Not even friends, just someone I used to be with and I can connect with. If I ever am in a jam, if he's ever in a jam, I know that he wouldn't be the first person that I would call at all, because I wouldn't have to. Thank God I have a lot of people here that I love and love me, and I have them to call. But if there was no one, I could call him, and I know he would be there for me. And he knows that even if I'm the first person he calls, I'm here for him. So I think that's good. And that's how I am with all my exes. I can think of maybe I had a lot of exes. And yes, I've had a lot of exes. I have. I've had a lot of love. I've experienced a lot of different people, and I'm thankful for that. And because I was a young mom, I didn't want to take every Tom, Dick, and Harry home, so to speak, no pun intended. So I would go on a lot of dates. And when my children were at their dad's house or at my mom's place for the weekend, I would go on dates, and I date a man for a few months, and then, guys, this is how they sell it in the stores, in a little bag, and I have Bohemia. Bohemia is one of the beers here that is very popular, and so is Presidente. Presidente is more popular. It comes in normal, which is like normal cerveza. I would say it's like a lager, maybe. And then they have light. And light is, for me, I don't really like. Cristal would be like Presidente, and Bohemia would be like Buccaneer. I think it's called Buccanero or something like that. Okay, I digress. That's me. But I just wanted to let you guys know why I was looking down. Cheers. So yes, I think for me here in the Dominican Republic now, a lot of men don't have a lot of money. And the ones that I date, sometimes they are working very, very hard for very little. And I love to help. I don't, hold on, a lot of noise in the background. I'm going to show you guys this view in a second, because I'm going to come off the live to air in a minute after I read all these messages. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to show you guys the view in minutes. I'm just going to, not even probably, I just kind of want to put out a few points, Oh, but let me get back to that story again. The guy, after he went and he got the beer for me, he did serve me, and he talked about it for the rest of the night. And we all laughed about it. Everyone laughed about it, and everyone was just like, Cerise, shoot, you're serious, eh? Shoot. Like, you're so serious. I'm like, yes, I'm serious. Like, I'm used to now for the last 2 years of being treated very much like a queen. And I can remember in Canada when I would leave a man would be like, oh, you just think you're the queen. Those are the comments I would hear from men. And yes, I am a queen of my world, of my life. I'm never going to belittle myself. I have started from the bottom. I was born in the hood in Regent Park in Toronto, a very rough place, lots of crack when I was younger. Not me, but my family, even my brother was a crack addict, and lots of my cousins were put in jail, and got some of my cousins, one of my cousins was murdered, and I come from some really tough beginnings, some very humble beginnings, and some very spiritual beginnings. So I have learned to, take a licking and keep on ticking. And I have learned to, what I read today on one of my comments from one of my live to airs, a gentleman, I forget your name, I'm so sorry, but I do want to thank you. And you said, when everyone was talking about the pants going down, and Joelle, the video with Joelle, you said, well, Cerise has thick skin. And you can say that much. And I do. I have thick skin because I don't sweat the small stuff. When you've been through so much in life, you learn how to either get past it really quickly because you know it's going to pass, or you learn to take it on, and then it just ages you, it makes you angry, and want to just die. Right? But when you learn that anything that anyone has done to you, any pain that has been inflicted upon you from others, it's because someone hurt them. Hurt people. It's not because you're a bad person. It's not because you did anything really horrible to the person to deserve what you got from them. Very rarely do we do things to people that we love that hurt us. Very rarely. So, these days I like to keep it real. And I don't expect perfection from any man. I have gotten used to dating men with no money in their pocket at all. And I've gotten used to, when we go out, paying for it. But the standard of living here is so inexpensive. Would I be saying the same thing if I was in Canada? No, I would probably date a different type of man. When we were going out, and I've always gone Dutch. I've always paid for myself, or even often paid for the people with me. Very, very rare would, I feel comfortable with them paying for me. And that's just who I am. But here, again, it's a given, it's a given. And I don't mind providing a beautiful lifestyle for somebody who's treating me good, like a queen, that I didn't get the treatment in Canada from any man except that one man, remember. And here I get it. So it's not like I'm paying for it. I don't feel like I'm paying for it. I feel like I'm sharing, and they're sharing what they can. When I go out and I spend money on myself and the person who I'm with, it doesn't matter if I'm with a female, Dominican female. I'm the same way with Elsa, my good friend here. When I go out with her to the clubs, I don't let her take a cent out of her pocket because I know she works very hard for every cent she makes. She sells each plate of her food for 125 pesos. That's $2.50 American. Now, what if she only sells 5 plates that day? Her rent at her restaurant is $80 a month. And then she has to buy all the food. And then she has to pay for her phone. And then she also has to, there's just different things she has to do. So when I invite her out somewhere, it's my pleasure to treat her good. It's my pleasure because the beer is not very expensive and the food's not very expensive. And for a good time out, like in Toronto, I'd be like, you can spend a good $200 in Toronto in one night on yourself. And, it's like, oh my gosh, I didn't need to spend that much money the next morning, right? And then here, you can go out with like $60 in your pocket, and you and your buddy's just going to get a nice buzz on, eat something nice at the end of the night, and then you get home the next morning, you wake up, and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even spend that much. And you count your money again. Because you're like, wait, this can't be real. And that's how it was for me in the beginning when I got here. And even now, 2 years later, I'm still at the point where rent is cheaper, food is cheaper. Unless you go to the grocery stores with the supermercado, like the supermarkets are with the international products, then of course you're going to be charged a lot more. But no, not if you go to the colmados, corner stores, and like the butchers and everything, and you just keep your costs effective. Your life is going to be a lot cheaper. So yes, again, I don't mind footing the bill here when I'm out with my man, as long as he's treating me like a queen in other ways. That's all I require. Don't, speak to me in a certain... If I'm upset at someone that I'm dating, I'm not going to yell at them. Like, I just won't. Back in the day, of course, I was young. So if you're watching this and you used to date me and I went off on you, I don't do that any longer. You should see me now. I'm very patient. And I'll say to them, todo bien? Like everything cool? Everything all right? And And that's how I deal with things now. So if I see a guy has like anger issues, I'm not into that, you know, not at all. And that's something like what that American here was here, and I dated for like a quick minute. And he waited, and I was kind of in between him and didn't know what to do because I was going through another mess with the other. And I did forget relationships for a while, as a lot of you guys would know. You know, like for maybe about a year. I only really started to date in quarantine. Just recently, in like March, I started to date again, right? And so for me, I waited for a while. But yeah, that American guy, you know, he didn't speak to me properly. And I would say like for instance, we're on the bike. We were at my old house and the big dog got out, Chiquito. If some of you guys remember that big yard that I lived, and Chiquito got out. And I had to go to Santo Domingo that morning. And I couldn't leave Chiquito outside. And it was a bus station. So, you know, I couldn't go to, I knew I was only going to be in, it takes 4 hours to get back. So I can't leave the dog outside for that long. And he's a guard dog. And anyway, you get what I mean. And so I said to him, oops, Chiquito's out. Can we circle the corner and come back around and, you know, corral him into the house? Because Chiquito was difficult to get back in the house once he took off. And instead of this guy saying to me, of course, Cerise, like, let's do that, of course. Knowing my plans, knowing what was going on at that moment and everything, was very early in the morning. He slept at my house that night, very early in the morning. And because I had to go to Santo Domingo, so it was like 6 o'clock in the morning or something. And so maybe 7. So then I said to him, all right, can you go around the corner? He said, why? Like that to me. And he's in front of me on the bike. And I actually had to like turn a little bit and look at him. And I'm like, did you just say why? And he's like, yeah, why? And I said, well, Chiquito's out. You know that. You can see him. He just ran in front of us. We have to corral him and bring him around the block. And he's like, oh. He was angry at that. And I was like, at that moment, I was like, in my head, right? Of course, I just wanted to cry because I was like frustrated with this man's ignorance and rudeness and the inability to understand the importance at the moment of getting a dog back in the house. And I really needed him actually to help me because it did take 2 people to get that dog back behind that big, huge fence that I had. It was like a big fortress fence. And so anyway, he agreed to it. He had to, I guess, right? Because I said to him, please, I need your help. And he was like, oh. And I was patient because I needed his help. And I wasn't about to, like, you know, bring that for me and say a strong word and stir up strife. And then I get off the bike. And by the way, like, he's older. He's like in his, I think he's like 58. So I think he's like 12 years older than me, actually, maybe even 60. I'm 48. So, you know, he was just a little off-putting. And I'm thinking, okay, American. I never really dated. And I mean, I've talked to a few long distance as I was in Canada and stuff like that via Facebook, but it was really like nothing big, and never had a serious relationship with an American. So I thought, why not try an American here? And I had the opportunity, so I did try, and he just didn't turn out right. And so yes, I don't like to be spoken to in certain ways, and I don't like any negativity. I don't like any rude behavior. I don't put up with much. I like tranquility. I like smiling. I like peacefulness. I don't like people making mountains out of molehills. I like people that will keep it real. Something happens, let's fix it. Let's fix it. Even if something drops, you know, my ex, when I first met him, I don't want to keep talking about him either, but, you know, it just is kind of fitting for the topic. But when I first met him, he dropped a dish. And I was in the bedroom, and he was with him, everything okay? And he said, what? I said, is everything okay? And then he came into the bedroom and he looked at me and he said, are you asking me if I'm okay? And I said, yes. He said, but I just broke a dish. And I said, yes, but are you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm okay. Wow, you're asking me if I'm okay? You didn't even say, what was that? Or, you know? And I said, of course not. You're more important than dish. That's replaceable. We need to know, are you okay? Did you hurt yourself? Because whenever we hear glass, anything could happen. You know what I'm saying? So I needed to know first if he was all right. And he found that if the plate is broke, the plate is broke. I don't even care if it's an antique. I don't even care if it's a family heirloom. You know what I mean? Like, we can't have connections to material things like that. We just have to keep it moving because things happen for a reason and we have to get past it. I have to get past a lot in life, but, you know, you gotta help. You would help them, right? And so anyway, that I'm just going off now on a whole different tangent. I said 10 minutes and look how much time I took. And then we turn the camera around and show you guys this beautiful view before it gets too dark, because I did say I was going to do the quarantena cocina today. And we did go to the supermarket and get food again today for it. We're doing the whole seafood this week. Seafood week, next week, pork week, next week, chicken, next week, beef, next week, random. If the quarantine even lasts that long. I'm hearing so many different rumors. Again, I'm hearing like it's going to be 20 days now, and then after the 20 days, they're going to review things. So it is what it is. I mean, they might just end the quarantine before the 45 days. And if I am disciplined enough, I will come to you every day for 45 days. But so far, I'm kind of being randomly disciplined, right? Doing this and answer all of your questions. Let me see, how can I do this? There we go. Oh, you're not going to see anything because the camera is blocked. Give me a second. I'll never get tired of this view, ever. So let me grab my drink. And I can't go too far over because my internet box is right here. So I can't move too far away from it. But I can come over here, you guys, the same vision that I gave you yesterday. Look at that. Gorgeous, right? I said this already. You guys know I'm always filled with ideas and everything. Why not? That's how we live. A quarantena cocina up here. Just fix up this place here, put a couple of tables out and play some nice Spanish music, and during the day put out the umbrella. You guys can have a nice quiet. This is the main road to Cabarete, the main road to Sosua and the main road to Cabarete. So it's not going to be quiet, but you guys can have a nice beautiful dinner. Look at that. All right, let me see these messages here. I think it's a lot easier to read them as we go along, but I wanted to stay focused. Mama J in the house. Hello. How are you? Angel Wings. And I'm sorry I always butcher your name, but I'm just going to call you Bailey. Girl, you ain't got to explain yourself to these random people on YouTube. It shouldn't have to be a preference. First off, you're in the Dominican Republic, so guess you got that right. People be so quick to judge, shaking my head. You are right. Douglas Anderson in the house. Dominican women will lie to foreign men about Dominican men and how they are mistreated by Dominican men, so that foreign men, Dominican men. Douglas Anderson. I think that is one of the most brilliant comments I've ever heard. I really a lot of the comments that I hear about the Dominicans here because I'm so protective and of them, and I love them so much, and I get a lot of their ways, but that right there just made a lot of sense, because I do know a lot of Dominican women that will date Americans, but they will also love their Dominican men, and they will love their Dominican men, and they will, still want their American men because it's more for a different lifestyle. But they do love the Dominican men, and they do love being served by these Dominican men. They are no different than myself at all, because I know sometimes if some of those women get with some of those Canadian men that I have been with in the past, especially the ones that have a little bit of cash and think that their crap don't stink, and those Dominican women have to do a little something more than I would do because I didn't have to do any. So sorry for those Dominican women that have to be with that type of man. and be treated in a certain way. No, of course, if you're Canadian, only reason why I'm saying Canadian is because I'm Canadian. I can't speak for any other race, or not race, but country. If you're Canadian and you are guilty of what I'm saying, and you do treat your woman wrong, and every now and again you get gruff and you have attitude, or even from anywhere else around the world, don't. Like, especially if, like, if you're impatient. That's just the worst. That's just gross. An impatient man. It's just gross for me. I'm like, ew. Like, are you a kid or are you a man right now? Like, seriously. And when they're like, I'll say that out loud too, especially here in Espanol. If I'm talking to a dude or whatever and he kind of acts a certain way, I'll be like, yo, ¿tú eres hombre o niño? Oh, hombre. Ok, por favor, yo necesito hombre ahora, no niño. Mi niño is in Canada. Like, okay, please, right now, I need a man right now, not a little boy. My son's in Canada. And I just said it straight how it is. So, I really can't stand a pissy man. But that was a really good point, Douglas. I really love that point. And Stephen, hello, Stephen Martin, Gaspar Hernandez. Hey, how you doing? Then we have, I think this says Neil, but the sun is shining. Let me get over in the darkness a little bit. Kel, nothing is wrong with your preference, Cerise. Do your thing. I still love you and your channel. Oh, thank you. I love you. Angel Urel. Whoa, your topic really piqued my interest. I never thought about the expat female perspective. Oh, thank you. Bailey again. Exactly. They gonna do for you. Girl, get you something to eat. Get you something to drink. They want to make sure you got whatever. Automatic ain't gonna do a thing. No, I don't have to ask them to do anything. Cooking for you, all that grocery shop for you, etc. That's right. That's right, Bailey. Corrida, Bailey, Korea. Okay, Jay Fitz. Que lo que. How you doing, Jay Fitz, and entrepreneur? Angel Wings deleted another message. Angela, hola mi amor. Good morning, I am here for this. Good morning. Right now here it is 4 o'clock. Where are you at? Hold your coat and then deal with their difficult, forward, pushy, demanding, first world, delusional mind state just because she's paying for everything. How disgusting, because you're just being honest. Super coat. And then deal with their difficult, forward, pushy, demanding, first world, delusional mindset just because she's paying for everything. Okay, so first of all, hold your coat. If I'm reading your message right, you're saying that I am demanding? Not at all. I'm the farthest thing away from it. The reason why is because I am self-maintained and I don't need to demand anyone for anything. Anything that I need, I provide for myself through my own ideas, through my own work, and through the power of God. So I don't demand anyone for anything. Never would I. I wouldn't feel comfortable with it at all. But I do like to be treated with respect. And I will not be treated in a certain way or spoken to in any disrespectful way from anyone that I am knocking boots with. At all, ever in my life. My mother and my father and my sisters and my brother and my grandmother and my grandfather, we are all the same way. My aunts and my uncles, my whole entire family, we come from a very strong type of people. And we treat people with respect, and we expect to be treated with respect back. It's not demanding first world delusional ways. Okay? So, I will tell you this much. When I am here, it is my pleasure to offer. I have a lot of expats that I can work with in regards to finding houses for people and stuff of that nature, but I go to Dominicans first, who own these lands, who know these grounds, who can help you guys when you get here network, when they're your landlords. It's not first world delusional anything. I think your comment is a little off base. Let me look at these other ones. Vernell, Southern gentleman. Yes. Now, I believe in Southern hospitality. Oh my gosh. I want to give shouts out to Vernon. Vernon Ellis. Oh my gosh, his first and last name, because he does have a YouTube channel as well, but he's not promoting it here, but he is going to be here. And I spent some time with him last week right here in Cabarete and upstairs here in my apartment as well. He came here, just him and I, and Joelle's mother cooked some food for us, some pico pollo and some platano and rice, and him and I sat here and played some music, and we talked about relationships, and we chilled out. And that man is a top-notch gentleman, and any woman that gets him would be very fortunate, because he seems like the type that would never cheat on a woman. He seems like the type that would never scream at a woman, but he would be able to make his point be known, very much like myself, without having to lose his temper. You know, be able to come across to people in a way where you're trying to kill them. Vernell, whoa, pull your coat, pull your coat, pull your coat. 3 comments you just deleted. I didn't read them. I don't need to read them, but I'm sure that you'll put them back up. There's one you deleted. I guess you're retracting what you have to say, but you can say what you got to say. I have thick skin, and if you watched all my videos, then you pretty much have a good comment about me, or a good, I guess a good opinion. So go ahead, say what you want to say, but I'm going to say what I want to say back, and I will say to you, it has nothing to do with delusional ways. It has to do with reality and my experience and what I've gone through, and I'm allowed to share it. Let's see, Douglas Anderson. The thing is, some Dominican men will see you as an investment, so they might do certain things that they might not normally do for a Dominican woman in hopes of reaping the financial benefits later. I can definitely see that as well. I can definitely see that as well. And I have experienced that many times here, not with guys that I was even contemplating getting serious with, but you know, a couple of guys that are just friends, right? And they're like, Cerise, I like you. And they just assumed that I'm gonna be like, oh really, you like me? Okay, I like you too. Like, I don't know, like, yeah, the guy's nice looking, the guy has a nice body, he's an electrician, one guy I'm talking about, and he's just my friend. And I was hanging out with him, and he was just my friend, and then he was doing very nice, kind things for me, you know, just doing everything for me. And then I said to him, please, I can do this myself. And he's like, no, I want to do this for you. And making my coffee. Like, I can make my own coffee now if my man makes my coffee. That's just sweet, because I'm laying in bed waiting for it while I'm on my cell phone, and I'm like, aw, baby, you know, that's a different thing. But if I have my friend in my house and we're chilling and we're talking about business and he gets up to make me coffee in my own kitchen, no, sit down. You're going too far now. I can make my own coffee, thank you, and I'll make some for you too. This is my kitchen, you know, above and beyond, not realizing that they're actually bothering my head more than anything. Get out of my kitchen. You want coffee? I'll make you a coffee. If I want something, I will ask you for it. You're not my man. But yes, that there is that fine line, you see. There is that fine line. So I don't want every Dominican man serving me just because that's what they do. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is my man. When my man and I are together and we're chilling and we're hitting it off, and you know, yeah, I do want to be treated really sweetly the same way I'm treating him. 100%. A common respect. You know, pull your coat. Deleted another one there. Come on. Stop biting your tongue. Or am I just missing your comments and everyone else is reading them? Then you're deleting them. Angela, I just got here and see the comments are mainly focused on preference, which I certainly did not talk about. We all have our preferences. Yes. You're right, sweetie. And I got your message. I see it in WhatsApp, and I'm going to read it. You're right long yesterday, but I am going to get to it. And I love your picture on WhatsApp, by the way. Beautiful. Pull your coat. Man, stop being an idiot. Who are you to judge? Poppy. I'm not reading pull your coat's comments, but he got his panties up in the bunch, or she got her panties up in a bunch, quite high for no reason, and not even, understanding where I'm coming from and my experiences in my daily, ins and outs, and how spending money does not equal. I'm not saying that spending money on people equals being treated well. What I'm saying is we give what we can in relationships, and I'm not in Canada. I wouldn't be so quick to give someone money all the time, because I know they can survive on their own. But here it's something that they need help with. Douglas, that may be true, but that goes for the women and the men there. Pull your coat. Pull your coat. Just say what you got to say and stop pulling your tongue. You just deleted three more comments. You don't have to like me, but you do. If you're on here commenting, you do at least have to give me a chance to read your comments before you delete them. The question is, once he feels he's got you in the palm of his hands, or he's become the apple of your eye, how will he treat you at that point? Will he revert to treating you how he treats... I don't see the rest of that. And Angela, pull your coat. That is a horrible thing for you to say. Cerise is a nice looking, and I am not going to let anyone attack another person, so stop it. You know what? You guys, whatever he's saying, or whoever, whatever he's saying, let him say it. Let him say it. He's deleting them, and I'm not reading them. So either it's one of two things. He realizes that what he's saying is very mean and uncalled for, and his heart is being convicted as soon as he says it, because maybe there's a good part in him that's part of God, and saying, hey, that, and delete it. You never know. So maybe there's some kind of good consciousness in him. And if not, then maybe I'm not meant to read those messages, because they would, sometimes when people say mean things to someone, I'm no different, those demon eggs hatch at certain times when we don't expect them to. And then we may think of that nastiness that people said in a moment of their anger, or a moment of their hate, or a moment of their ignorance. So let's not even watch whatever he's saying, guys, please, or she's saying. I don't even know who pull your coat is, but let them just talk. Let's not censor them, and let's just keep it moving. It's not really all that important, right? Let's not make their comments that important either. To make sure they live in good, period. Yeah. Hey, Freddy. Hola, mi amigo, ¿cómo estás? Hola, dark man. Oh, muy bien. ¿Y tú, mi amor? And Freddy again. Cereza! How are you, Freddy Garcia? And TJ Grooves. Hola, Miss Cerise. Looking phenomenal. You do your thing. There is always a gender double standard. You have raised your children. Time to put yourself, your needs, and wants first in the Dominican paradise. Thank you, sweetheart. TJ Grooves in the house. Thank you, sweetie. It's just us, world. Hola, Cerise. Living your best life. No questions needed to be answered. You are a very grown and lovely woman. Do you? The men certainly do. They do. They do. And that's another topic I want to talk about as well on here. You are correct about that applying to Dominican women as well. Yes, Douglas. Okay, hold on. Derail boxing. Good on you, pretty lady. Thank you. And let's see. It's Trump changed to Americans, but it's plenty. Okay. Get that in the U.S. Pull your coat. Maybe thousands of pesos, not thousands of dollars. Cerise is linked up. Douglas Anderson, I totally meant. Maybe the men you know, but I know for a fact the guys I know go down there, be tricking hella money on them girls. I know a lot of guys. I agree with both Douglas Anderson. Okay, I'm lost on here, guys. But thank you, Ritter. I love you. Hi from Germany. Oh, Kelvin. Hello. Um, Let me see. Pull your coat. You got a lot to say, but I'm just going to ignore you. And now I'm just gonna change the topic, guys, because there's a lot of comments here, and they are all wrapped around him, most of them. So I'm gonna go down a little bit more. All right, talking about the men, and talking about the men coming here. Now, today I got a message from a friend of mine, and he sent me a message, and it was from a real estate agent who he rented an apartment from. And now, when he rented the apartment, it came with a really good referral. But then something told him to ask the real estate agent, is the apartment guest friendly? That is my first thing, because I've learned finding apartments that you guys like to bring guests over to your apartment like it's your own house. You're paying your rent. You don't want a hotel. You're paying your rent, right? So that's the first thing I do. I always get guest friendly places. I was very shocked today when I got that a photo on WhatsApp from my friend, and he's like, Cerise, look at this. This is from one of the most popular real estate agents here, and the guy said, no, this place is not guest friendly. Now, I did a video the other day in Sosua at a very beautiful boutique type of 3 houses, 3 casas, gorgeous and everything. When I got on the second video, the woman stands in front of the camera and she's like, hi, before you leave, what I want to say is just make sure that no one comes here with prostitutes. She said it right out like that on the camera. And I just looked at her. I laughed out loud. I didn't post it because of that, right? But because she's just not my type of place to put my clients into. But then I thought to myself, well, not all my clients are coming down here for women. Some of them do want a type of quiet place where there's not going to be any women at all. So I'm still going to post the video, but I just don't agree with that type of behavior, and I just don't. The reason why is because I think we're all grown-ups here, and I think people should not be told who to bring into their home, and the whole they don't want this, they don't want that, and everything like that. Well, don't be an Airbnb. Like, people come to rent. People come to enjoy their life the same way they would at home. Like, that's like telling people that, you know, they can't smoke in their house. There's a lot of Airbnbs where you can't smoke, but you can go out on the balcony. I can remember when I was first staying at Cabarete Campo, and when I first got here, and I came for like the first month. And my landlord at the time, she said she saw my ex coming. I met him 2 weeks after I was here, and he was bringing me everywhere, like doing everything with me, you know, like we were really chilling hard and we were going in and out. And then once she saw I was with one person every day, she still questioned me, and she said, oh, Cerise, I need to know who he is. Please give me a copy of his cedula, that's his ID, and his name, where he works, what his age is. And I said, for what? And she said, because I have to keep safe for you. You're a safe right now. When I moved into this place, you didn't tell me that I need to tell you what guests are coming in and out. I paid you for a month. I want to bring people to this pool. I'm going to bring people to the pool. She's like, yeah, but I need to know who's coming into the apartment. I said, for what? These are my guests, right? I had him in, and I even brought Gregory from Flip Flop one day in, and we chilled out. We did a live dare on Facebook. She didn't ask about him, right? And so anyway, you know, it was the Dominican she targeted, and I didn't like that very much. And so I told her straight up. I said where he worked, and I said his name, and I said she's not getting any more information. I didn't give his full name. I said his first name, and I said, and if you want more information, you can go to his work, where he works. Yes, he works. And she was just like, oh, well, Cerise, it's just for your own safety. And I get that, but don't leave me a message bossing me around and saying, oh, yeah, and I'm going to need this, and yeah, I'm going to need that, where he works, and his cedula, that's his private information. You don't do that. not, and again, like, you know, or even before, I'm very careful of that because I don't want any of my clients to have to be in a situation where they feel uncomfortable or being watched in their own apartment when they're coming happiness, right? Yeah, so I'm not really cool with all that at all. So I really, the first thing I like to do is make sure that it is your own apartment when you're here. You're not being watched like an animal, and your guest is not being judged like a freak. You know, you're here to have your good time. You pay your money and you meet people. In regards to money, I don't think a lot of men spend a lot of money here, and I think that's why they come. I don't think it's in the thousands. The men that come here, when they're getting villas, it's because they're going in on the rent with their friends, unless they're coming here by themselves and they're looking for cheap rent. I had a guy contact me today for $250 a month, and I was like, come on. I can do some magic with numbers, but $250 a month, and he wants it like fully loaded. I said, no, another 50. You got to put another 50 on that. 300 a month, and I can get it for him, no problem. You know, a nice one bedroom, fully loaded. A little dated, but fully loaded. He'll still get his flat screen TV, and he'll still get his Wi-Fi and good Wi-Fi, and he'll get cable, and he'll get a pool located on the premises, and he'll be right on Pedro Clasante, the main street, right in the district on the strip for $350. You know, put another $50 in investment in. So yeah, no, these guys are coming down here, ladies, for a good deal, just like I'm here, and I pay very good rent. I'm here, fully furnished, and we're all looking for a good deal when we come down here. And so I do know that these guys are coming down here, and they are frugal. And a lot of them are very smart with their money. Now, when they start spending, that's when they actually found somebody. That's when they actually are more seriously getting involved. Hold on, guys. My battery is about to give out, so I'm gonna hang. That's because they met someone and they are now feeling that they want that person to be happy. They want to see that person happy. I know that they'll spare clothing, and the girls are very frugal too. Like the girls, they will go get a nice good deal on certain things and stuff. And even the hair here is cheaper. To get your nails done, it's cheaper. To get your eyelashes done, it's only 500 pesos, which is $10. $10 to get your eyelashes done, right? Just little fill-ins. So, you know, the men are not spending that much on the women here. And even some men that are sending money every month, they're not sending anything close to some of the girls that I know in Canada that are getting every month, just, you know, living in Canada and still working their own job and have their own houses and everything. And they have sugar daddies, and sugar daddies are giving them so much more a month. These girls are probably getting a couple of hundred, few hundred, not much. And even then they have to do so much to get it and sacrifice so much. So, but it is what it is, right? And a lot of the guys are very sweet that come here. A lot of them are very giving, and a lot of them do want to, you know, pull your coat, to bring it back to him for a second before I come back full force here. A lot of them, you know, a lot of the men are very sweet here. They do want to, you know, come here from their first world and treat the women very well. You know, I've seen that. So, you know, I mean, there's a little bit of this and that, but on average, if I had to crack it down to the average man is wise, he's smart, he's frugal with his money, and he knows what kind of woman he wants, he knows what kind of life he wants, and if he's not coming here for the woman, he's coming here for the beach, or he's just coming here for the atmosphere, he's coming here for business, he's just coming here to live his life out because this is more reasonable and economical, you know. So there's just so many different reasons why people come. But in regards to the relationship portion, yeah, the guys usually spend money after they get connected with a woman, because then that's when he realizes what her needs are, or, you know, what her wants are. Okay, guys, I'm going to have to shut out because this video my phone is now about to run out. And thank you for those of you who were here with me. Thank you for those of you who took your time out with me. And yeah, I really wish you guys all a great day. Big blesses, huge hugs, and loads of love. Trying to turn this off here.